So we're about a month out from a new Young Justice title, and let me tell you, I'm excited. Are you excited? You should be! The original Young Justice is fondly remembered for good reason. It's a ton of fun and an unapologetic celebration of youth, which are both things that the comic book industry, and DC in particular, has been sorely missing for the last few years. But maybe you missed out on YJ the first time through. Maybe you were too young, or you've only seen the cartoon, or maybe you're just curious but don't want to shift through 15 years of history and an entire literary analysis to get the gist. Well, never fear, your friendly neighborhood obsessive is here, and while I do have that analysis on hand if you're interested, link in the description, this video is a crash course to everything you probably need to know about Young Justice to jump in with issue 1 when it hits stands in January. First off, ignore the New 52. We don't know for sure that they're dumping everything that happened in that little debacle, but given that A, everybody involved in this series was so horrendously out of character in that timeline that they might as well be completely different people, and B, this revival is being pitched and solicited as a reunion of a team that never existed in that universe, it's safe to say that you can almost certainly disregard it. If there is a reference you don't get that isn't explained, you can always ask Google. A good rule of superhero comics in general is that you shouldn't obsess too much over continuity. It's meant to add to the story, not lock people out. Likewise, don't go in expecting anything related to the cartoon. Don't get me wrong, the cartoon is pretty good, it's just not Young Justice, not the original flavor anyway. So don't go into this expecting Nightwing's generation of heroes or anything involving Black Ops missions or doing anything because the Justice League tells them to. Young Justice in the comics is a social group, a place for the kids to hang out and just be kids together, going on adventures as well as dealing with personal drama. Interviews about the new series have called it less of an official roster and more of an arrangement where the kids can call on each other if they need help, opening the possibility for a wide range of guest stars and interactions, which frankly sounds amazing. And now, a quick rundown of our major characters. This is Connor Kent, aka Kon-el, aka Superboy. No, not that one. This Superboy is a teenage clone whose two DNA donors were Superman and Lex Luthor. He had a different backstory in the 90s, but most folks have settled on the retcon because it's more intuitive and, honestly, more interesting. He's been MIA for a while, replaced with a broody McBadboy sort who's like a much less likable version of his cartoon self, but apparently the first adventure is all about bringing the real Connor Kent back into the proper timeline, which will hopefully include some explanation about what that proper timeline even is. This is Bart Allen, aka Impulse, grandson of the second Flash from the distant future, raised in a virtual reality program due to a problem with his superpowers that was fixed by bringing him back to modern times. He's also been missing for the last while, but recently returned in an issue of Flash with basically no explanation, just the implication that he's been gone and is presumably not the murderous version we met in the New 52. He hasn't been seen since. Hopefully issue 1 is set up to give us some answers as well as provide some context for who Bart Allen even is in the post-Rebirth era. And this is Tim Drake, aka the Third Robin, aka Red Robin for the last 8 years or so, which is why it's rather confusing that they keep calling him Robin and he's clearly wearing a Robin costume in all these publicity shots. No word yet as to what's going on there, but the last time we saw him he'd just gotten back from being kidnapped to an extra-dimensional prison, fought an evil alternate future version of himself that's still running around, heard the name Connor Kent and called it familiar despite having no memory of his old friend due to timeline shenanigans, and went off to investigate said timeline shenanigans in what was hopefully set up for this series. 20 years and 2 timelines ago, Christ I feel old, these three teamed up to help save the world from a reality-altering genie and then just kept hanging out because, damn it, everybody needs friends. They were quickly joined by this lovely lady, Cassandra Sandsmark, aka the Second Wonder Girl, demigod daughter of Zeus and immortal archaeologist. She may or may not be pre-established in this timeline and may or may not already know some of the boys because frankly the end of the New 52 was kind of a mess and to my knowledge we haven't seen her since. But hey, it's nice to see her back in some comfy clothes, and she was the team's elected leader way back when, let's hope they remember that. Together they are the core four, the central friendship around which the team stuck together even after many of their friends retired and they moved on to become the Team Titans. Of the team's former roster and potential guest stars, the only ones who have been teased so far are the Wonder Twins. Yes, those Wonder Twins, though they're apparently getting their own book and look to be very different from the CD-eating aliens they were in YJ. Also in the wings are 2 brand new characters. Teen Lantern, an obvious pun that I'm frankly appalled no one has used before now, though it does make this Teen Titans panel retroactively hilarious, and Jenny Hex, the descendant of Old West cowboy antihero Jonah Hex. I honestly can't wait to see what they have planned for these kids, they look like so much fun. And finally, the solicitations for issues 1 and 2 also tease the involvement of Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld, the mystic defender of an alternate reality fantasy kingdom that now threatens to bleed into the DC universe. But this Gemworld invasion is also set to be the only way to bring home the original Connor Kent. How, why, and how many of Connor's friends even remember he exists after all this? Pick up Young Justice #1 to find out. I know I will. See you in January! Hey folks, Soul here. I just wanted to take a second to thank you all for watching the video to the end, and also for those of you who've subscribed or commented, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that really means to somebody who's just starting out the way I am. I really appreciate it. It's very encouraging, and I love you all. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a happy holidays. Don't forget to check the links down in the description, and I will see you in the next video.